fire.
Shit's on fire, yo.
Fire and eagles and cunning use of protection from energy.
And fire doing fire things.
And fire doing fire things.
Trying my best.
And yeah, so we saved a bunch of people. We also, in the process of that, kind of had a minor interaction with that one elf from the Platinum Army. Don't know where that's leading.
Yes, you do.
Sure. The communication stone activated. We heard part of a conversation of a woman talking to who we presume is the wizard. That they need to up their timetable and they're meeting tonight. And that the fire had not reached their hideout, which we presume is the fire was going northwest, right?
Northeast.
Northeast. Okay, so we presume that they're above that, either to the northwest or the northeast. And to finish off everything, Zoe got a letter. So what was that letter?
It was a drawing of of somebody that Zoe is looking for or is trying to help find. Also, the conversation was definitely a group conversation. It was more than just two people.
From the crystal?
At least I thought it was.
No, it was one woman talking to the wizard, as far as I could tell, right, Jamie?
You only heard one voice.
Yes, but the way that the call was definitely sounded like it was a group call.
To me, and this is just my interpretation, it sounded like it was call and response. We just didn't hear the response.
I actually thought like she talked. The wizard unquotes us. We didn't answer, and she was like, "I know you're there," and continued talking.
No, because she definitely reacted like someone was replying to her, and that it was the same consistent person
or people.
Well, you are not sure one way or the other.
Oh, also we release fire. Interact again with Merle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Merle do cantrips.
Who I'm pretty sure will come up again. But then he vanished. Like Batman.
Yeah. All right. So it is a late morning for all of you. After your escapades last night. You are waking up like maybe an hour before noon. I think most of you took baths last night, so you don't smell quite so badly of smoke.
Yeah, we all took baths and relaxed.
Yeah.
As much as we could.
Yeah. Your clothes have been laundered and returned to you. Breakfast has been provided. Is there anything you would like to do before you leave for the day?
I would say, as we're getting ready or whatever, we're just going to pull Camille aside.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you doing with all this?
All this what?
Sort of gestures vaguely at the house.
He kind of looks at Rosen for a second and gets just a very sad look on his face.
I know that being in proximity to Zoe and Gwen kind of reminds me of things I never had. Got to imagine it's worse if you did have it and lost it.
He kind of just takes a moment to think. Being here is the hardest thing I've ever done. I see them interacting and laughing, crying and arguing. And I don't get to have that ever again. And it hurts. And it hurts a lot.
Revenge is a powerful motivator. But don't let it consume you.
Kind of claps the Roots on the shoulder. It's not just revenge for me. There are dozens of families back home that are going through the exact same thing I am. It very much is about seeking justice. I don't want to kill every single cultist I come across. The average person has been duped or brainwashed or fed a string of half-truths and lies to get them to do what they want. I don't have any anger towards them. I will ask them to put down their swords and walk away. If they don't, I have to fight. If they do, I'll let them go. As for the leaders, though, that's a very, very different story.
The more we find out about what's going on here, the more I worry we are getting in over our heads. We just need to be careful and know when to quit while we're ahead.
He just sort of sighs. Like he doesn't have an appropriate response for that. And he just looks at her. I'll do what I feel is right.
Just make sure that pointlessly dying isn't right.
Right. And he just sort of half smirks, only point to dying. Noted.
Now you're getting it.
All right, I better go get fire. We're going to go check in on the hospital.
We should think up a nickname for him.
I don't think he'd understand one.
True. Well,
Technically, fire is a nickname.
We don't know that.
maybe we should just
do.
avoid shouting for him across a crowded area.
I think at some point Amma and Fire will have explained how Amma named Fire.
Definitely
'cause
not to me.
Never to any of us.
Fearbolgs don't actually have names, right?
Yeah, you would know that Fearbolgs, after having spent time in Fire and Emma's village, Fearbolgs don't really have names, at least not amongst themselves.
Can we reckon that this is like campfire talk that we have at some point? Because I feel this is something that would have come up in the weeks and weeks of camping together.
Sure.
At least on the way back from Shimmer Grove.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would have been an appropriate time.
So you, the players, know why it's Fire?
No, we don't know why you're named Fire.
Because when Fire was pretty young, he was saying that he was a Fearbolt, but didn't know how to say it, so he was saying Firebolt. And I'm a nickname him that say he was called Fire.
Right.
That's it.
Okay. No, that's neat.
Anything else?
Out of character, it was because Fire was saying, or Guasta was saying it like that, and I decided that was a good nickname for him.
Yeah, it happened while character building, so art imitating life.
Yeah.
Question to the players. I have noted, I have in my notes, quote unquote notes, that we owe half of the price of the scale armor. Did we pay for it or not yet?
I believe we gave them a promissory note for the bank.
So I should check it as paid.
Yeah, because that same question came up when we actually retrieved it, and I'm fairly certain that we took care of it at that time.
Yeah, I remember that when I asked for it, I owed money. I don't remember if we quote unquote pay it on some kind when I got it.
Yeah, I think that you guys were taking it out of the bank.
Okay.
We did pay for it because we also sent them a tip of a dragon scale.
All
That is true.
right.
Yes, that is true.
I don't remember off the top of my head exactly how much it was, so just make sure that you mark off.
3,500.
Okay. Mark that off from your bank money.
Anyone else have stuff to do beforehand?
So I was there an address on the letter that Zoe got? Okay, how about this? Was there an address on there? If no, does Gwen know it? If no, she will be going to the salon.
Yeah, I think there probably would be an address on there. Not necessarily on the envelope, but he would have included like where to find him.
Okay. Then Zoe is just going to probably take another bath, get ready to go out, and slip out.
Okay. So everybody sort of has their plans of what they want to do today.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
the idea is we're going to do what we do, and then find. I think Pertz and Emma are doing the investigating, trying to find where this meetup might happen. And that might be what our plan is for tonight.
I don't remember what Wizard is doing.
She's poking around the fire area some more.
And so then I don't know what Emma's doing.
Going with Pert.
And Pert is also poking the fireplace.
We're parking the area to the northeast of the fire where the fire was heading because the wizard said that they were worried it had almost gotten to their hideout.
Got it.
I believe Pert and Emma are going to look for the hideout on the north. And Rizwin is going to try and look in the fire for how it started.
Near the fire.
In the fire zone.
In the fire. And Zoe has not voiced any of her plans?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So Zoe is taking a second bath while everybody else is getting ready for the day.
I come close to Pert and Emma. Guys, I have a hunch. Would you mind checking on direction that I'm giving to see if there's something on those houses, and I'm pointing them to the houses that Meryl made me save with water.
No reason not to.
It might be nothing. Might be a good hunch.
Emma?
Okay, so let's start with Pert and Emma then.
I never heard Emma's response.
A little distracted by something cute.
Oh, okay.
Melis is carting his pillow around.
Always.
Right. So Pert, Amelis, and Melis are going to try to suss out where this hideout might be. Leaving the Von Edel estate and walking to the west, the smell of burnt is still very much on the air. There is still quite a bit of smoke in the air that's just kind of settled into this general haze. There's no like towering flames from what you can see. The streets are quiet. The presence of the guard as you get farther and farther west gets heavier and heavier. Nobody tries to stop you, but you are getting... people are noting you as you pass by. Moving around to the sort of northeast corner of where the fire consumed, you get to the buildings that your companion fire pointed out. They are mildly scorched. And also a little worse for wear. Some of the roof tiles are askew.
Signs of life?
Make a perception check. You don't see anybody in the buildings. There are guards patrolling around the area, and given how close, like, the building next to it is burnt. So it's not unreasonable for you to imagine that they would be keeping people out of this area for the time being, just in case.
So I think Pert will look to Amlis and kind of give a finger wiggle and walk around behind another building, pull up his hood, and wait for Amlis to do the sneaky thing, and then he'll try to sneak into the buildings.
Okay.
Amlis, are you okay to do the sneaky thing?
If you mean with my bow, I can do that once.
You can only do it once?
Yeah, once for long rest.
You can also just stealth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, if it's, I thought it was a spell that you were using, so you would have more than one. If you only have one use of it, then just stealth is more important in this case.
Can I get a stealth roll from Ellis, please?
Yeah. Not terrible.
That's not terrible. The three of you managed to sneak past an oncoming patrol, getting up close to the house. Now that you're like right up next to it, you kind of try to look through a crack in the window. You still don't see anybody in there.
Open the window and hop inside.
Make me a thieves' tools.
Sure thing.
This isn't so much picking a lock as jimmying the window open without breaking it and making a terrible amount of noise.
Well, I rolled a 2, but I got a 19.
Jesus Christ. Master thief right here.
Very good with his fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
We're not doing phrasing anymore.
Or maybe we are.
Top of the season, everyone.
Yeah. So, with incredible ease, you prop this window open, and you and Amelis and Melis get yourselves inside.
What are we looking at?
This just seems to be, looking around, this just seems to be like somebody's home. The outer wall is scorched. It bears some signs of the fire. Everything in here stinks. It's still a little bit damp in some places.
All right.
Furniture has been, like, knocked askew. Anything that was on the walls is no longer on the walls.
So, if we were to toss the place, it wouldn't change the appearance drastically.
You can make an investigation check if you want.
So I want to do an investigation, but I want to try to make it not obvious that someone ripped the place apart.
Okay.
Disadvantage?
No, I'll say it's just a straight investigation because of how destroyed the room already is.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't find any evidence of cult activities or a secret hidden base or anything. It's probably just somebody's home.
Not even a ledger that says I owe blah 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 X-teen-thousand gold, therefore indicating a suggestion that, oh, this person's clearly in debt to the cult.
You find a small purse of 10 gold and a handful of silver under one of the mattresses. That's it.
Pert leaves it there. And is this just one room out of, like, the 3 houses that were safe, or?
Nope, this is, like, the entirety of the house.
Okay. And there's no other important houses that we could check connected to this that weren't part of the blaze? This is just the random house that is still standing.
So fire there were 2 houses that Merle had directed fire to try to put out the blaze. With your 30, that can encompass searching both of them. One of them is just a home. The other seems to be a dress shop with residents upstairs. Neither of which you see any cult activities.
Cool. That is good to have that reassurance. What's on the opposite side of the street from this? Sorry, what's on the opposite side from the fire from this?
Yeah, that would be like the opposite side of the street. Make a perception check. There are on the other side of the street. It's mostly stone buildings. It's mostly stone buildings on the side of the street that you're currently on, except for the two that you checked. The opposite side of the street has a haberdasher and a shoemaker, and what seems to be like a furniture maker. It mostly seems to be shops with like the second floors of each of the buildings being where the shop owners live.
Do they look like they're A open, B home?
With the 17, you don't immediately see people wandering, like walking into the stores to buy stuff. It's still pretty quiet around here. But you do see, you think you see a little bit of motion in one of the windows of the second floor of the shoemaker.
I think Pert will look to Emma. Well, Emma, do you need shoes or would you like to go sewing?
Hmm.
Sorry, you're really muddy for me.
That was just me going, Hmm. Sewing?
Okay.
Sewing it is. Pert will keep an eye out until the next patrol goes past, and then we'll help Malice out. Although if there's just a door we can use instead of the window, again, wait until there's no patrol passing and then let ourselves out.
Yeah. Yep, you can absolutely do that.
All right. And after making sure that there isn't someone just watching us, Pert will lead us across to the not to the haberdashers, to the sewer. Yeah, well, the haberdasher is the sewers.
Yes.
Brain.
It's all right.
And is the custom here for that kind of a situation to knock or just to walk in? Because this is visibly a shop, right?
Yes. That's a good question. I think the custom, if the door is closed, I feel like the custom would be to knock.
All right. Then Pert will give a light rap on the door.
You wait 15, 30 seconds. You don't hear anything.
Was this the one that we saw someone upstairs?
No, it was the shoemaker.
Pert will kind of look to Emma. You've got a relatively level head on your shoulders. Do we invite ourselves in, or do we go visit a neighbor?
Visit a neighbor.
All right. And Pert will cross over to the shoemaker's place and repeat knocking lightly.
Okay. Here you, as you knock, you wait 5 seconds and you think you hear something inside. And then you hear footsteps getting closer to the door. And the door opens just a crack. Not enough for you to even really see anybody on the other side. And you just hear a voice say, "We're closed."
Totally understandable. I was just hoping I could find out if you knew if the residents across the street got out alive.
I don't know.
It's a shame, it's a shame. Do tell, do you think you'll be open anytime soon? Or is this perhaps a misfortunate time to go shopping?
You hear the voice just kind of scoff, and then the door closes.
It was a risky bet, but I tried. Oh well. Do you think we can get any more out of this area, or should we just move on, Emma?
What are your passive perceptions?
30? Or sorry, 20. 20. 20.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
20.
That's mean.
Okay. Pert, as you're, after the door has been kind of closed in your face, as you're kind of looking at the door jamb, it almost looks like the frame, there's little, like, markings on the inside. You can't see them very well now that the door is closed, but...
That's interesting. Pert makes the excuse of wandering back over to the door we used to leave the two houses across the street, and checks to see if there's similar markings on the door frames.
Nope.
How about the haberdashers?
I mean, you can't open that door, so it's kind of hard to check, but not from what you can see.
I think I can open that door.
Yeah, you probably can. You do not see any markings on the door frame.
There's no external markings, so it's probably not worth pulling it open just to have the person on the other side stab me. Markings on door frames. You know, I heard a story about marks around a door. I need to find a local. Alright, Emma, let's go look at where we're supposed to be looking.
Okie dokie.
And I think Pert will start investigating the area where the fire definitely didn't reach, where we are expecting / hoping that the cult might be. But I've also got an idea in my head that those markings on the door is the cult's building.
All right. Both Pert and Amma can make me perception checks.
Cool. I have a perception score.
Cool. Couple of things. As you are spending time here, you're noticing, like, where it was once deserted, people are starting to filter back into this area. There's, like, being very careful and trying to skirt around the guards like they know they're not supposed to be here. But it is hard to keep people out of an area that they're not supposed to be in, especially when it's a bunch of people's homes. And people are starting to get a little more brave, and now that the fire seems to have been well contained, people are starting to come back into this area. With a 23, I don't think you look at some of the houses around and you don't see any more of those markings on the doors. You obviously can't check every single building and every single door.
Yeah, but we get a general sense that there's definitely something about that specific house, whereas all the others seem to be lacking that special symbol.
Yeah.
Any second thoughts about what else we could try poking, Emma?
Not sure.
Yeah, I think, short of literally sneaking into a couple random houses and basements and stuff, that's about all I've got on the top of my head. When we swing around and start going back towards the manor, Pert will make the point of going on the next block behind the shoemaker's place, and specifically check if there are any basement entrances or stuff, but he's being ultra sneaky mode during that, even if he has to go solo from Emma, just to try to, basement windows, basement entrances, basement doors, whatever, just in case. Because he's got a inkling.
Okay. Yeah, there is indeed an alley behind this row of shops. With your previous stealth checks, I will just hold those over and say you are able to slip out of anybody's watchful gaze and get back in this alley. Make an investigation check.
Sure.
Okay. There doesn't seem to be any like any basement windows or any basement entrances from the outside. Of course, that doesn't mean that there isn't like a way to get into a basement from the inside.
Yep.
But there doesn't seem to be any external entrances. There is a door back here as well.
Okay, so there's a back door.
Yeah.
From this distance, can I see if there's even the suggestion of markings on the back door?
With the 22, now that you know what you're looking for, there does seem to be some markings on the door frame. There are things that just like glancing at it, you might think that they're
scuffs and nicks.
Scuffs and scratches. But you've been around magical stuff long enough that there's something about these that strikes you as being patterned.
Yeah. Much like how in the sewers we saw the scratches and marks letting you know what section of town you were in. this is clearly somebody marking this door for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And comfortable with that reassurance, Pert will nod to Amelis. We at least have our first place to investigate.
Yep.
We'll see what the others think, see if they dredge up anything, and we'll rumble this location again later. And away we go. Do you have anywhere else you want to stop on the way back to the house? Maybe the fish market for a treat for Malice?
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
Fish market it is. Bert's probably been wanting some fish for a while anyways, so why the hell
All
not?
right. You swing by the docks district, get some fish for Pert and some fish for Malice.
I mean, Pert would share, but I don't think Melis would, so... But yes, I think that's the two of us dealt with for now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Camille and Fire.
Oh,
I do believe that the two of you were headed to a field hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
On the way there, I'll just stop Fire and let him know. There's going to be a lot of injured people there. I know you know. I know you're trained in medical practices. We also need to keep some stuff in reserve for stuff that might happen later, in case we need to help other people. Don't go nuts with your spells.
Got it. That's the case. Can we pass by to buy some health kits? I can work with Gerbaldi's kits, but mine ran out yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm also not saying don't use any spells. I'm just saying it's... Keep in mind, these people aren't used to magic, and they're already dealing with two conflicting groups of powerful people in the city. It could be very confusing and shocking for them.
Yeah, but I prefer them shocked than alive. But you're correct that if anything happens tonight, I don't want to be empty.
Right.
So, Jamie, can I find some herbalist kits on the way, like quick like?
You can make an investigation check to try and find a place that will sell that sort of thing.
Does Camel help?
Of course, I'll help.
Well,
No, we just know where the hospital is.
Yeah, you try a couple of places, but you don't seem to have any luck. The one place that you found that would sell them is out.
Shocker.
Shocker.
yeah, fair
I'm
enough.
Guessing the hospital might have some on hand that you could
Yeah.
probably use.
If I ask for them, they might. Yeah.
Also,
Okay.
you know, you have a bunch of your mushrooms that might help stabilize a lot of people.
Oh, I have a lot of things, but the least I use my spells, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Yep.
Okay. Ty,
Yes,
do you think there's a... I never really thought of there being like a big central hospital like there is in Marielda here. What do you think?
I think there is.
Okay.
I don't think any of the wounded victims are there.
This is a rich people hospital?
Yeah.
We did specifically ask the butler to let us know where the wounded were being taken.
So in that case, they would be, there would be like little, a few field hospitals set up, probably in like guard buildings.
Mm-hmm.
And Garrett would have directed you to one of them.
I guess that's where we'd go.
Okay. Do you go to the same one you were last night, or a different one?
I'll leave that up to you, if Quast is okay with that, just because I don't think we're gonna make a scene one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would go to a different one because they will not dispatch the people who were there last night, so there's no new people there,
Mm-hmm.
and I know I at least cure the most critical ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So you go to a different one. There are a couple of guards on duty, who stop you before you go in, and ask you to state your business.
We're healers and friends of the Primor. We thought we'd come here and help with the wounded.
Make a persuasion check. The guard narrows her gaze at you, but steps aside and says, "Just don't make a ruckus."
I'll do my best, thank you.
Inside, there's a few people that are still quite injured. One with severe burns, some with like smoke inhalation. There's lots of like coughing and hacking.
I'll look at fire. I'll take care of the burns. That's from the best application to my abilities. You want to take the people with breathing problems?
Sure, I will prioritize the critical ones and let's try to assess which one need help but not urgent, and let's gather them around for one big healing spell that I have.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll just work on healing like critical burns for the most part, like people who could die of infection if they don't get these burns healed.
Yeah.
I think Fire tried to work on sorting them out first and seeing who needs who what to.
So Fire's going to do triage first?
I don't know what it is.
Sorting out the wounded as to who needs help the most.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty quickly, Fire, you realize that most of the people here aren't actually injured. They're just people with nowhere else to go. There's a lot of people who are just sitting on the ground, dirty and disheveled, with these lost looks on their faces.
Ugh. Not a lot to do here.
I mean, if that's the case, I'll also spend time kind of just talking to people, especially the ones who seem like they're in shock.
Yeah.
You know, when that's persuasion or whatever, to just kind of calm them down or rouse them or what have you.
Yeah, same.
Maybe pick up a couple of casual snippets of conversation.
Sure. You can make a persuasion check or a performance check or a straight charisma roll.
I will go with
Any
persuasion.
of those are applicable.
Jesus.
Womp, womp. Fire, you make this little kid cry.
Fire is very awkward. I'm sorry.
And then I come over and make the kid not cry.
Yeah. The kid, who's like maybe three or four, is then very into being able to see his own reflection in your armor.
I look around. Does he have like someone who's taking care of him, or?
Yeah, he has parents. One with like his mother's holding an infant. She seems like she's just barely holding it together.
I think for shorting it out, like don't do this too much expensive. I have good shrooms that I can spend And if it's necessary, I have healing spirit at level 2 that will make the people conga line to heal themselves. I guess you could tell me how many do I need?
Yeah, I was thinking I have this pool of lay on hands and healing hands. How much of it do you think is fair to use of the 54 that I have?
Roll me. Hang on. How about I roll? I have these lovely dice in front of me.
You have dice?
Yes, I have dice. Okay, so there's two people who are like...
Sorry to interrupt, Jamie.
Yeah.
Is your phone near your microphone?
Yes, why?
Can you make it not be, please?
How's that?
Every
let you know.
fifth or so time you've talked, there's been a slight fuzziness.
Oh.
So it's been very uncommon, but it has been happening on and off.
Oh, I didn't realize that was my phone sitting near my microphone.
Yeah, cell signals can interfere with computer audio stuff.
I used to have a cheap pair of speakers that, if my phone was in 5 feet of them, they would just sit there and hiss.
Yeah, I used to know that someone was about to call me because 5 seconds before that, the speakers would make a weird sound.
But that sound?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was worse when 3G was common.
All right. Well, sorry about that.
Okay.
There are two people that are seriously wounded and need like 5 HP or more of healing.
Okay, I'll
To make sure that they're going to be okay.
I'll handle that because that's like a point from my land hands and my healing hands, which isn't a lot.
Okay.
There's about a dozen people that you've identified with like smoke inhalation issues that need to be seen to. But those can be dealt with like 1 or 2 points of healing.
I will
and some time.
I will gather them there together
Mm-hmm.
and instruct them what's gonna happen. You're gonna see a space of light here that's gonna heal you. It's not gonna last long, so I need you to pass one after another.
They look at you like you're kind of crazy. Make a persuasion check.
I mean, they probably just saw a man's hands glow.
That's true. Make a persuasion check with advantage.
It's good. That's good for fire.
Yeah, people seem reluctant, but I think given the Kamal has already shown off some magic, they're willing to give it a shot.
I try to say to them, hey, if you miss it, you miss it. I'm not spending another one. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And I put a healing spirit.
Okay. Starting with this 12-year-old boy, these dozen people walk through this healing spirit. One by one, you hear the wheezing and the coughing, not like cease completely. Actually, how much is the heal? 1d6. Yeah, there's a couple of people that are still wheezing a little bit, but everybody seems improved.
Good. Do I think that the people wheezing still gonna be okay, or they need something, or they will gonna get worse?
It's probably just time now.
Okay. I did what I can.
Yeah. Now that everybody's settling back in, and Camille is still talking with people and trying to comfort them, Fire, you hear from behind you, hey, Eagle Man.
Turn around and say, "Hey, man, who is there?"
It's Merle.
Merle. How's it going, buddy? How are you? I start checking him.
Oh, well, kind of tired, but not too bad. How are you?
Have a shroom. Give shroom.
Thanks, man. Eat shroom. Look
I'm
at
fine.
hand.
Hmm?
Is that magic?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. What does it do?
Not much. Just food and all the food and drink you need for the day, and patch you up a little bit from the insides.
Oh, but I like food.
You can eat, yes, but this assures me that you will be fed, whether you have it or not.
Yeah. Cool.
How are you?
Meh. It was a stressful night.
Yep, you did good there.
Thanks. You too. Hey, that big wave thing you did was pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't do much though. I was hoping to do better. Oh well.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I first started learning, like, I thought, everything was gonna be different, and I was gonna be this really cool badass, and it's cool, and I'm still a badass, but
It's a process. I think I learned my fit concept like 40 years ago.
wow, you're old.
Eh, we grew slower. I need to talk to you. Can we go somewhere more private?
Yeah, sure, man.
Are you doing that yourself, Quest, or?
I'm doing that myself, but I wave like, "Hey, I'm gonna be here."
Camille, you see Fire with somebody that I don't think you would recognize.
No, I don't think we've ever interacted.
You just see Fire with some random kid, probably like 18, 19.
Kind of just raise my eyebrow at Fire and go, okay.
So when we're alone,
Mm-hmm.
So Merle,
Yeah.
you asked me the other day to teach you magic,
Yeah.
but you know magic already.
Well, like, I know a couple of things. I'm excited to learn more,
Yeah, I can get behind that. Where did
I'm
you
like,
learn?
I get it's a slow process. What do you mean, where did I learn?
Yeah, where do you get it?
From, you people.
Merle.
What?
I'm just curious.
Anna taught me.
Sorry?
Anna taught me. You know
Oh,
Anna.
no.
Make an insight check. Fire. You feel like there's a piece missing. Like he's assuming you know something that you don't.
Yeah. Anna.
Yeah, she's great. Like she knows a lot, but it's just I want to go faster.
What else can you do?
Oh, what does the spell prestidigitation involve?
Harmless sounds, smells, chill
Cold.
water, heat water.
Colors.
Yeah. Okay, he makes like just a little shower of sparks.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah. And this. And you see him you guys are probably like in an alley behind the field hospital. And he like points at the side of a stone wall, and you see a little bit of fire come out from his fingers and impact the stone wall, but it's kind of like a
Like a firebolt.
like a fire fart.
Ah.
Says, I'm still working on that one.
Yeah, I can see that. I see that what you're working with. You have potential here.
Hey, thanks, man.
I will want to not roleplay these because I think Fire will take their sweet time on talking to him, and this is what I can do, and where you come from, what's your family, and this is my family, and so on. And so give it a speech. Give it a talk, a good talk, and in the meantime, here and there, ask like, what do you want to do with this magic? What are you learning next? And maybe even out like, where's your next lesson? When is your next lesson?
Right. Make an investigation charisma check, and then make an insight check.
Okay, investigation. So,
but with charisma instead of intelligence.
So I'm not proficient in investigation, so it will be just charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a charisma roll.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Cool. And now?
And now wisdom check. Or insight check. Damn. Okay. So the first thing that strikes you when you're talking with Merle, you kind of mention a little bit about where you're from, and he asks you, so how did you get involved? Or he asks who found you? And he says it in a way that that it means something to him that you can't quite figure out.
I will deflect the question on something like, oh no, I learned somewhere else and I found them.
Oh, cool. What else can I give you? What exactly are you trying to get out of him besides?
I think what I want to get is, what is the purpose of learning magic for him? Like, this is, I want to know more. I want vengeance to the wealthy, or around those lines, you know?
Yeah. He seems. You don't necessarily get the sense of like, I want magic because I want something in particular out of it. He just seems really excited to learn magic. And he says like, he says like, people think I'm dumb, but I'm not. I like learning stuff like this. And I'm good at it. Like, I've only been doing this a couple of months.
I can say that. Yeah, you're good. And the other thing that I want to get before we come back to, I want to say something specifically, is if at some point he gives me a location, a time zone, or something of when he would meet this Anna, or the lessons where they're taking part of, or something like that.
I
I will
think
I,
he's
I will
kind of-
not I will not push it,
Yeah.
but just if it gives me something.
Yeah, you rolled so well. Like I think he's kind of reticent to say it at first, but he does let slip. Despite like he's not terribly careful with his words, and he does let slip that he meets Anna once a week on this specific day.
Are we close to that day of week?
It would have been like 2 days ago.
God damn it. Okay. Well, Meryl.
Mm-hmm. He asks at one point. He asks, he wants to know more about you and what you've been doing, and he says like how long, or how did you or words are hard. He asks if you know, and then he kind of leans in close and says, "Do you know Trevarian?"
Where's Riverian again?
You've heard the name. You heard the woman who was talking through the crystal refer.
Yeah. We assume that was the wizard, right?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I'm planning to, though.
Man, I'd like to learn from him.
There is a lot of ways of learning magic. You can get magic by the help of a god. You can get magic by studying and learning it from books, or by communing with nature.
I can connect with humans.
Whichever path you take, you're gonna end up grabbing the um, ideas and how to call it, um, like misbehaviors. I want to say like like mishabits.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna end up grabbing the mishabits of whoever you learn. It's not just about knowledge. If you learn for a good god, you're gonna tend to do good. If you learn for a revengeful god, you're gonna tend to do revenge. If you learn from a paranoid wizard, you're gonna end up a bit paranoid. Be careful there.
He seems thoughtful. That makes a lot of sense. Hey, you're pretty cool. You're not like the rest of us, are you?
I guess not.
Us. I guess it is us now.
Remember that they are just as you are getting something from them, they're getting something from you. Don't give them more than what they deserve.
Cool.
I am staying in this place, the big house in that part of town. I explain where I'm staying. If you need anything, go there and ask for me. Doesn't matter the time.
Wait. Is that the Primor estate?
Yes.
You're staying at the Primor estate?
Yes.
What? Wait, do you know the Lost Princess?
How would I know a princess who's lost? Either I don't know her, or she's not lost.
He looks a bit confused when you say that. What?
I'm deflecting the. I'm saying to Jimmy, I'm deflecting the question with crappy wisdom.
But do you know her?
I'm not sure what you mean. I know a bunch of people. I even know gods. They're nice.
All right, keep your secrets.
I laugh. So yeah, if you need anything, go there. Ask for me. Okay?
Sure. Thanks, man.
Anything. And like, I'm gonna leave, and I can hold myself and turn around and say, seriously, be careful, okay?
Yeah, you too. Things are getting kind of crazy.
Yeah. Bye.
See you around. You're gonna teach me that eagle trick.
Someday, if you stick around.
He smiles and walks away.
That's it for me.
All right, you go back in, talk to Camille.
Yeah, I say I know some things now.
Do you want to fill me in when we're alone?
Well, later.
All right.
Did we spend a lot of time in this hospital? Do we have time to do another small hospital in the meantime?
Yeah, I'd say that you can. You know, it's like mid-afternoon now. You can go to another hospital if you wanted.
Did I get a feel for how people are feeling? Like, are they angry at Antares? Are they angry at the cult? Are they angry at both? Are they angry at the city?
They are scared. You're make an insight check. Yeah, there isn't really a lot. There's some frustration, but it's mostly like fear. You think it's probably fear of Antares, but it's not always easy to tell.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, if we want to go to another one, we can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's more information we want to RP out a bit.
Yeah,
I don't know.
comfortable just saying that you guys go to another one and spend a couple more healing spells.
I'll tag off another, 10 lay on hands?
Sure.
I gotta take off another healing spirit and let's say all this room that I had left.
Okay.
And while we're walking, I fill up on Camelo on what I learned. Like, so whoever is teaching magic to the masses, Kalahana, she meets at least with this person here this time of week.
And when you get to the Lost Princess thing, he stops you in the middle of the street and just goes, "Fire."
Yeah?
Your friend's in the cult.
I know.
Okay. I just want you to be aware of that, because that's what when I rescued Zoe, that's what they were calling her. Princess.
Yeah, I take it before of that. I think he doesn't know where is this stuff with.
Like I said, these people tend to prey on the innocent, downtrodden, or people who want power.
I just hope I don't need to fight him at some point. I would prefer to.
I don't want to kill
Not to.
people if we don't have to. I agree.
Yeah.
But we have to keep more people safe than just a couple individuals fired.
I know. Can you help me out with that one at least? Like, if we end up tomorrow fighting opposite side, like knocking him out instead of killing it.
I promise you, I will bash him upside the skull.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So before we get to Zoe and Rizwan, I would like to take a quick break.
Sure.
Maybe.
I want to grab a snack, but it takes forever to get out from under this desk.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I'll be back in a sec.
Right.
Kit's standing here staring up at me and complaining.
Normal cat.
Meow.
Meow.
She is though. Adorable.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Welcome, Bark.
Welcome, Beethoven.
I prefer Heidel.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Kawasta's already come back, so I think everyone's here unless Nibbles went AFK.
Maybe he did.
By the lack of a response, I'm guessing Nibbles is AFK.
Jamie's giving me a new friend, so I will have to kill it.
Wow.
We don't play with murder hobo rubos. Your goal is to find a way to get them out without hurting them.
Sleepy or just one of those days?
Or what?
Both.
Are you still dealing with the whole inventory kerfuffle at work?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. That just makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
So I got out from under my desk and grabbed my caramel M&Ms that I accidentally left in the front window of my truck.
So
Are
you
they
now have
one
a brick
M&M?
of so you have a brick of M&M.
No, they're all separate still. The second I bite into one, it's melted.
That's almost perfect then.
Interesting.
Melts on the dashboard, not in your hand.
Welcome back, Nibbles.
So I guess have sounds. Huh.
It's
Costa,
weird.
Are you fascinated by the liquid M&Ms, or are you thinking of something else?
I'm guessing what is the melting point of the candy part of an M&M?
Like the candy shell?
Yeah.
These have exceedingly thick shells.
Well, the candy shell of an M&M is basically lacquer. It's edible lacquer.
They're greasy, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's probably denatured a little bit from the heat.
Welcome to a visual walkthrough. Oh, it helps so much.
Anyways,
Yeah.
everybody's back?
Not only is everyone back, but
Ah!
But what?
Crunch.
Crunch.
I forgot to buy carrots.
I have a sneaker.
All right. Back into it then. Shall we do Rizwin next?
Sure.
All right. So as Amma and Pertz go off to try and find where this cult might be located, Fire and Kamal head off to a field hospital to try and use some healing magic to help some people. What are your plans for the day, Rizwan?
I would like to try to determine as much as I can about the fire.
Okay.
Try to look for patterns, how it moved, if I can identify where it started. Possibly confirm my suspicions about how it was started, etc.
Okay. So you also head to the west.
All while not getting close enough to things that are still burning to actually get hurt.
Right. So heading to the west, you see something very similar to what Pert and Amma saw. As you get closer, the guard presence gets heavier. Nobody immediately tries to turn you back, but people do. They note you're passing. There are fewer and fewer civilians. The smoke is still hanging in the air.
I will give the professional courtesy nod to anybody that looks like they're taking particular note.
Sure.
Trying to give off an air of, I have a thing to do and, you know, I'm supposed to be doing it kind of thing.
Yeah. Make a intimidation or a deception check, whichever you prefer.
Neither, really. I'm just being...
Yeah, this is just to sort of represent...
Just a general charisma?
Sure.
They're all the same roll anyway.
Okay, well then.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, you have an air about you of like, you're supposed to be here and you're going to do a thing, and that's enough that that nobody seems to question why you're here.
Excellent.
You end up where you were yesterday when your group first approached the fire. There is not a lot left of that area. You can see where they blew up the houses and that debris has been cleared away. There's just this like strip of ground all the way around this burnt, charred, debris-filled area. It's still quite hot. There's a couple of open flames here or there. You can feel the heat from just like the embers and the coals as you get closer, but it's not... You might be able to walk through that with some good rolls.
I feel like it would take better rolls than just being where we were last night?
I think...
Isn't it nice to be able to play an old RPG and just say, yes, this is what I wanted?
Oh yeah, it's always
I don't know.
helpful.
What do you think?
This is very much what I wanted.
The way you're describing it to me sounds like it would be less intense heat than it was last night, just because it's
yes, it is.
In a very
the smoldering remnants.
Method.
Yes, yeah. But it's also
but I think it's more my brain
avoid
than the Switch
because
being
everything
better.
is just all over the ground.
Because I had a lot of fun on the PSP as well, and on the Vita, but I always felt strained.
I guess maybe it's the difference between heat damage and fire damage.
Meds, everything's just a little bit
because I will say being
handle.
near a large fire is oppressive.
Because I am listening to D&D, But I'm also keeping up with D&D, which is helping so much.
Yeah.
So maybe
I'm not
it's
doing
the
anything
same.
important right now. I'm just leveling magic, but
Yeah, I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
Famous last words.
Jamie can kill you.
If it gets bad, well, actually, no,
That's true.
can't. Well, not directly with fire, anyway.
Not with fire.
I imagine a pretty bad situation right now.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but not instant death. Yeah, I'll be stupid. Let's go for it.
Okay. Just roll me a Constitution saving throw. 18. Pretty good. And roll me. Also, roll me a Dexterity saving throw. I should ask the next one first. Okay. So you are able to try to find a path through the debris that is not immediately going to set you on fire. It is warm in here. It is uncomfortably warm, but it is, there is a marked difference from what it was last night.
Yeah.
There are, with a 10, you do step wrong a couple of times. And please take, say, half of that in fire damage as you're just walking around and slip on a piece of wood. Find your leg in a bit of embers, and all of a sudden your pants are on fire.
Put them out quickly.
Yeah. All right. What are you doing in here?
So this is like inside the place that it looks like it might have started?
No, this is inside the burn zone. Looking around, like everything is just burnt. There's no immediate indication of, oh, this must be where it started. Everything's just burnt.
I don't see any sort of path that looked like the fire traveled along this wall or anything like that.
Make a nature check.
Ah, jeez.
You have no idea. Despite the fact that you are a red dragon, you don't, you haven't seen your fire powers.
Yeah, don't use them very often.
Yeah.
How about, so if I wander around for a little while, is there like an obvious zone of stuff that is still burning, and if I go past that, things that have burned out? Like, basically, I'm trying to look for where the fire has been burning the longest.
Right.
And, like, run out of things to burn, basically.
So where you are at the edge seems to be the least hot. Like, it gets hotter as you go in. You think that might be because, like, right on the edge of the fire, not only were people making fire breaks, but they were also, throwing sand and water on it to try and make sure it didn't get any farther. But yeah, the further west you go, you do, like, it does get more, like, the heat does get more and more intense, and eventually you get to a point where it's like, okay, this It is not safe for me to go much farther.
Can I try to rough out the approximate area of that zone? So, like, trying to at least narrow down, this circle.
Sure.
However big that is.
Make a survival check. Okay. You walk around the boundary of this area, as best as you can figure it. It's probably like, you would guess maybe 60% of the total burned area. You haven't really been, I guess you've been to the west. But it is still like the majority of the burned area is still like really hot. Don't go in there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the wind has shifted since last night. It's blowing to the west now. That might also have something to do with why the west area is still a little more active.
So in the, I don't know, we'll call it 45 minutes that I've been wandering around this close to the really bad part.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
How many other people have I seen?
Make a perception check. Inside this area, 0. Fucking zip. Nobody else is crazy enough to be in here. As you get to the space where it's a little more reasonable, you do see somebody.
Well, I was gonna think about doing something real stupid before I left.
Okay.
But I don't know if I want to do it.
Well, that's up to you.
Stupid.
I would say with your nature check, like, looking around at the fire, unless there's like some really obvious magical source hidden in the middle of that zone somewhere, I think Rizwan's smart enough to know that she doesn't really know what she's looking for.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a mundane source.
Yeah, okay, I guess she won't be stupid then. So I run into someone.
Yeah, as you were leaving, you run into someone. Around the edge of the burn zone. Just sort of half-heartedly picking at debris, is the elven man from last night.
What's he wearing?
I don't think he's wearing platinum I think he's wearing what he was wearing last night, actually.
Okay. And he doesn't have any buddies around that are either?
No, he's by himself. He seems to be deeply lost in thought.
I think she'll walk up to him. You slept at all?
Oh, sorry. No. It's been, well, it was a bit of an exciting night last night. How are you doing?
That's one word for it. I have a lot of theories and not much evidence.
I apologize, I never introduced myself yesterday. Phelan.
Ah, Rizwan.
He, shakes your hand. So...
She looks at him like, so.
There's just this awkward silence. I apologize. I haven't been quite myself.
It's a lot.
Yes. Bad memories. You were fantastic yesterday.
Well, adrenaline, I guess.
You seem a bit like a soldier.
I spent some time in Astoria, yeah.
Ah. Never been there myself, but I've heard it's quite beautiful.
Yeah, most of our problems were wild animals instead of wild people.
Sounds like a lovely life.
Bit boring sometimes, maybe. But I'm out and about in the world now.
Yes. Me as well. Only just recently decided to leave my home and go on a bit of a jaunt around the world with the Platinum Army.
Oh. What does she roll to just not visibly, whatever?
Deception? Let me... He does not seem to pick up on any surprise or other emotions.
Pants shitting fear.
Yeah. He just continues on. Have you heard of them? Us. It's us now.
Just the locals talking about the ship in the harbor?
Yes. We had only planned to be here for a couple of days, resupplying and whatnot, and... Well, with all of the events that have been happening recently, my commanders decided that perhaps we should stick around for a couple of days, make sure everything's okay. It's a good thing we did.
It's very magnanimous. At any rate, I have some people who are expecting me, and well, I think you need to go get some sleep.
Yes. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable.
Oh, what do you mean?
You just seem to be a bit impatient to...
Oh, I had just said I would be meeting someone, that's all.
Yeah. Well, it was nice to meet you, Rizwan.
She'll give him the soldier handshake.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of yourself, all right?
You too. And if you're ever looking for adventure across the seas, Platinum Army is always looking for individuals like yourself.
I would probably point out to you at this point that she is pretty obviously from Vrogel, if you know what to look for.
He doesn't.
Okay, that's good. In that case, she will casually walk to the nearest corner and then run for a couple blocks.
All right.
Ventilating.
Yes, they are looking for people like you.
Yeah, I guess they are. Yeah, so maybe try to come back when it's a little cooler and give it another shot, but other than that,
Yeah.
kind of struck out. She would probably wander around where she thinks that Pert and Amlis are, trying to meet up with them if possible.
Okay. Make a perception check. You do not find them.
Give up after a while and just head back.
Hurl a fish at her head.
The better question is, would a 16 even find them?
Probably not.
Would it find the kitty?
None of us might find you.
That's more likely because the kitty would be sitting there eating a fish in the middle of the market.
I'm more meant that the kitty is less stealthy.
Also true.
It's hard to hide a big six-legged kitty with tentacles in the city.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Zoe, everybody has left the house while you've been taking your second bath.
Oh, blarg. Zoe dresses up nicely but not showy and goes off to face the news. She will be as quiet as possible leaving.
Make a stealth check.
I think she walked into a door frame.
Everybody just turns and looks.
Sorry, I was cleaning my glasses, even though her glasses are on the face, and just leaves.
All right. So at least the house staff know that you've left.
She just tries to make a beeline for the house.
Okay.
Or tenement, or whatever it is.
Are you hiding your horns?
No. Should she be? Yes. Is she? No.
Okay. As you walk down the street, people stare. Some stop and stare. There's a couple of people that see you coming and move to the other side of the street.
Man, but I mean, who just talks to the camera with hilarious anecdotes and tangents? Documentaries, which is around when I stopped watching every sitcom known to me.
She manages not to make it look like she's bothered by it.
Yeah. Keeping your head up high, you continue down the road, moving in a different direction from the rest of your companions, instead going straight south. The houses stay nice for a while and then start to, are nice but a little smaller. A little smaller. A little not quite so nice. And at the very south of the city, the houses are not shabby. Like, this is not the Stubbs or Dryden, but it's also, nobles do not live here. This is still a working class neighborhood. There are more people in the streets here. More people to stare at you. You turn a corner, walk down a street, turn another corner, and you get to a row of houses. You double check the address. Third one on the right.
And so he walks right by it, doing a loop of the block and coming back again.
Okay.
She wussed out the first time.
Mm-hmm. All right. You do a loop, walking around the block, coming back down to the street. Third house on the right.
She walks up to the door and knocks on it. Or rings a bell, or jangles whatever it is.
You knock on the door. And you hear... Oh my gosh, hang on. I forgot to open the document.
I definitely warned you I was doing this last week.
I know. This is my fault. You knock on the door. And, you hear, a woman shout, Jeremiah, get the door! And a few seconds later, you hear rushed footsteps. And the door opens, and you see Jeremiah in much less nice clothes than you saw him previously. Abigail. Oh, sorry. Do you want to come in?
Please, I need to talk to you about something.
He opens the door farther to let you in. Inside, you are immediately hit with the smell of booze. The windows are shuttered. Even though it's like early afternoon, the house is fairly dark. Jeremiah looks deeper into the house, turns back to you. He's kind of fidgeting and looks a bit nervous and says, "We can go somewhere else if you like."
If this is okay, this is fine. Just somewhere we can be alone to speak for a moment.
Sure, just give me a sec. He walks into the house and says, Mom, can you give us a minute?
That was supposed to be an 8. Zoe looked like she's about to start crying.
Yeah. Oops. You hear some grumbling from a woman, and somebody gets up and walks out to another room in the house, and Jeremiah says, You can come in. You hear him, you hear the clinking of bottles. Walking into this, like, living room area, it looks messy. He's trying to clean up a little bit, kind of brushes some dust off of one of the chairs. I'm sorry. Things around here have been a little rough lately.
So you know how people fidget and like doodle and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Zoe's doing that with cantrips, like mending and prestidigitation and like cleaning and fixing things as she's trying to work up the nerve to talk about what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he seems nervous too, but maybe for a different reason. He just brushes off the chair just a little bit more, and says, You can have a seat if you like.
She takes her seat and sits on the edge of it and does her fidgety magic and says, I received the picture you sent today.
Oh, good. He sits down too and kind of fidgets a bit at the end of his chair. So, do you know anything?
I'm sorry to say I do. After I left the city, I was traveling on my own, and I was captured by the people your brother was working with. Things were not good. During my escape, was about the same time I got my magic. And I think Zoe stops speaking for a moment. Does he speak up or just keeps listening?
He's silent for a bit. Like he's having a hard time working himself up to talk.
If he doesn't speak, Zoe will just finally work up the nerve to say what she has to say. The person who came in to help me took a prisoner, and he was going to torture him for information, and I might have... I made the choice that it was better to kill him than
Pretty much.
put him through that pain. And
Yeah, it seems that final plunge
that man
enough
was the same one I saw in the picture you sent.
Yeah, it's draining real well.
back to where it was. was before I cleaned the tub, because that was when it first started. Then it cleaned up for a while, and then started getting stupid again.
Yeah, hopefully
You killed him?
And I can't wait for my
Yes.
tax return, or my tax refund. Not for any specific reason.
He's just
but like
hyperventilating and crying.
What I'm gonna do with it. Probably put half of it towards my car loan.
That'd be a good use.
I don't need a TV. The things that
Why he wouldn't hurt a fly? Why?
TV, bed. I can do without the living room furniture upgrade, although it'd be really nice because I'd be able to get rid of all of those out there and then just get like a chair and a sectional, because I really want a sectional. Those are fucking awesome. My sister sectional given to her from our auntie, and this thing is proper massive. Like that thing out there, you lay down end to end on it, and like I'm 6'4".
The reason they captured me was to use me as a sacrifice to bring back something I assume the god they worship.
Yeah.
That's how fucking big it is.
I was
Not even the other side. And it came with
not in a good way, and even then I didn't want to see somebody get hurt for information. I'm sorry for what I did.
Yeah. It's definitely something to think about.
Get out.
I'm sorry. And with that, she leaves.
And you just hear him crying as you leave.
Yeah, unfortunately. Poor bed.
I think Zoe heads for home while looking down at her
I'd say
feet
at least.
and crying.
You don't notice any of the stairs this time. Your feet take you home. What does Zoe do when she gets home?
Bedroom, pillow, crying.
Mm-hmm. After a while, you hear a very timid knock on your door. Coming?
I'm fine. In the most I'm not fine voice ever.
Is your door locked?
No.
I think she opened the door then. Can I come in?
It's fine, Gwen. I just need some time.
She comes over to the bed, sits down beside you. You don't have to tell me. But I can at least just give you a hug?
I think Zoe's already reaching out for her. I killed that boy's brother.
What?
Can't remember. Gwen knows Zoe was captured, right?
Yeah, you talked about it to your family, at least in vague terms.
Is anybody else having trouble hearing Jamie?
Zoe. Is this better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
During our escape, I killed that boy's brother. Or, correction, during my escape, I killed that boy's brother.
Oh. I think she just hangs on to you and doesn't know what to say.
Why would they make me go deal with that?
Who?
The person who gave me my powers.
I don't know. Did you ask them?
No. I just... Normally, they give me such good advice. They push me towards things that are important. Why would they push me towards him?
I don't know. Was it an accident?
No.
Oh.
I was so scared and worried, and he was going to get tortured, and I thought it was better this way.
Yes, that does sound kind of like a kindness.
I shouldn't have done it. I should have stopped the torture and not let him get hurt. I'm trying to remember something. That's the last person, last humanoid Zoe's killed, isn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't hurt anyone like that since. I mean, I've killed beasts and constructions, but not a humanoid.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm sure. I know you, Abby. Whatever people might think about you, I know that you always try to do what's right. And I'm sure that this wasn't any different.
Sometimes it's not enough just to try. See, isn't it better just staying here in the tower and learning stuff? Or here in the house and learning stuff? It's not always fun going out on adventures.
Guess so.
So this is how I have my picture in my mind. Gwen is sitting on the bed, and Zoe's got like sitting beside her, legs wrapped around her, head on her shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crap, I had something, I lost it. Oh yeah. They were gonna kill me.
I'm glad they didn't.
I sometimes feel like I'm dead, and every day after that has just been one more day before it ends.
Don't say that. I know your life hasn't been easy. But I hope there's at least been some good stuff.
Well, I do have the best sister. Who apparently does not take no for an answer.
Your friends seem like they really care about you too. So do Mom and Dad. Even if they don't show it so well sometimes, especially Mom.
She just wants what's best for the family.
Yeah.
And Dad's just stressed out. Having a daughter with horns is not an easy thing. Wait a minute. Shouldn't you be doing lessons?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Zoe sits up straight and stares at her sister.
This is more important. You're more important than lessons.
I think you're just using me as an excuse not to do them.
I am not.
Stare.
I'm not. Much. You want to go walk in the garden?
Want to go fly in the garden?
Sure.
I think Zoe stands up, takes her sister's hand, and dimensions doors them to the garden.
There's a little bit of a scream from Gwen. Weren't you saying to your friend something about ask first?
Rules don't apply to sisters. Besides, that's so much more fun. Despite saying fly in the garden, I think she just goes and has a walk with her sister.
You walk in the garden. But mid-afternoon, Rizwin comes back. And Pert and Emma. With some fish. And then Camille and Fire. You stay in the garden?
I think Zoe gathers everybody up and tells them about this secret of hers. She doesn't specifically invite Gwen, but if Gwen shows up, she won't try and shoo her away.
I think Gwen does come.
So, skip ahead to the end of the Zoe telling you all that. Because I don't feel like repeating it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of something.
I think Rizwin has been a little bit inside her own head, but hearing what Zoe says, she kind of snaps out of it and just says, "It's not the kind of thing you should or have to be doing alone."
I don't think it's something you go and do with a bodyguard.
Zoe, I would have liked to have closure on that too. And it hurts that you didn't allow me to have that. I'm responsible as much as you are. You should have told me. You should have at least told me.
I'm the one who killed him.
You don't have to do these things alone.
I'm sorry.
You don't need to apologize. You just need to start using your noodle a little bit more about these things. Instead of jumping and thinking that it's your responsibility to save everything and everyone.
One moment, please.
Be right back, Bio.
Okay.
I lied about the drow. Aeneas did not ask me to remove her name from the book. One day her name was no longer there. She's dead.
I think Camille's trying very hard not to rely on yelling.
I can see that and just give you a look like, don't.
No, he's not. He's very much trying very hard not to. Like, he knows that it's the wrong thing. Zoe? No more secrets. You don't have the right to keep things like that from us. That is unfair and it is cruel. not saying this to hurt you. I'm saying it just as what it is.
Ty, you may want to reiterate what Zoe told the group for David, who was away.
Oh, sorry. Zoe shared with the group that Aeneas' name was not. She did not remove her name from the book. That the Drowsel name disappeared one day, shortly after they parted, and that the name disappeared due to her death.
And is Pert aware that you had both names or just the one?
I don't know if Pert makes any action, so I will say that Celeste is still in the book.
Celine.
Celine, sorry.
So yeah, Pert would ask, and Celine? And when you tell him that she's still in the book, he will give a bit of a weary sigh and a nod.
Just to confirm this, I think Zoe will pull out her book and check to make sure it's still there.
It's still there.
Have you tried checking to see if she's okay?
The last we spoke, she was. She does not want to be bothered. Or maybe she doesn't want us worrying about her.
I know, that's the risk. Getting a straight answer when someone knows they're in a dangerous territory is hard to say the least. Thank you for the truth.
Can't remember. Everybody knows about the letter Zoe got about going and meeting with the warlock or with the wizard, right?
Yes, as far as I know.
I'm pretty sure.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember Zoe's secrets.
Yeah, they have a way of building up, don't they?
I mean, I think she had 3.
I walk up to Zoe and put my hand on her shoulder. It's good. This is good. This is important, so we all trust each other even more. I trust you, Zoe. And I give her a hug.
Zoe probably slips into the biggest bear hug that anyone who isn't a bear can offer, I'm assuming.
I
No,
mean,
it's polite.
Fire could give you a bear hug.
No turning into a bear. That's one of the rules. I'm pretty sure Zoe said for no bears in the house.
I think once this is settled and Zoe's looking like she's back on her feet, Pert will describe the 2 buildings that Fire sent them to, but then go into way more detail about the shoemaker's place and the marks on both front and back door.
I will point out to Pert before you say any of this that Gwen is in the room.
Oh, Gwen's still with us.
Gwen's still with you.
Then Pert will let the others know that he needs to talk later about his investigation into the source of the fire.
Once the conversation gets a little less heavy, oblivious to the fact that Gwen is in the room, I think Rizwin will just blurt out that Phelan is Platinum Army. I met him today again.
Sorry, I thought I mentioned him. I ran into him down at the docks 3 days ago.
You mentioned you were talking to some of the docs. You didn't give us a verbatim description of the individual. That's not on you.
Well, I guess we already knew that they were hanging around for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think she'll just say, like, he knows my face now, or something like that.
Does he? He seemed out of it yesterday.
And your face is not big. I also met someone.
Kamel just standing at the window, just kind of coughs deeply and just points at Gwen.
No.
Oh,
Wait.
I'm sorry. I should
It's
go.
okay. Find you later for duel. It's okay.
Quasta, you're fading in and out.
I said to her that we will find her to do other stuff later, but we need to talk something.
Yeah, Gwen seems down when she realizes that she is not really welcome here anymore. You guys had business talk.
How old's Gwen?
14.
Hmm.
But she stands up and gives you all a little curtsy.
Hey, Gwen, can you
Yeah.
stay around for a moment?
Sure.
I have an idea, and you know the city probably better than I do at this point.
She sits back down.
And Zoe shares her big, massive plan.
Oh, the one you're talking about?
Yes. Does anybody want me to read it out, or are we
Yes,
good?
please.
Yes, just rehash it again, just in case.
Oh, let me find it.
How about?
Crap, when did I write this thing?
A few weeks ago. Give me a keyword.
I don't even remember.
Wizard. If you type in
Found
wizard, it's the fourth one.
Okay, so part of the problem is the underclass feels disenfranchised. So Abby makes so we make a deal with the wizard, assuming that the wizard isn't actually evil, and instead just is trying to work with the city, and the cult are trying to take advantage of him. We bring into the city with help from. Start bringing raw materials into the city to make magic items. Because this is dangerous work, that means we paid very well. This will clearly need to be traded outside, so it will be our family Abby and Gwen's family, that will need to sell this off to other cities. Because their ability is rare, the minerals are hard to get. That means there'll be lots of profit in here, because magic items come from out of Blackcastle. That'll bring wizards into the area. Clearly, people are interested in learning magic, and we don't really have a lot of magic users that teach, especially not compared to us. Marialda?
Yeah.
Marialda. So that'll help people who can use magic and not have the cult running it. That'll raise the amount of magic in the city. That'll mean that at some point a new family will need to be added to to the order. That'll make an even number, so that'd make 8 families. 8 is a bad number, so we need to have a 9th family. Instead of having a 9th family, we will have a elected group from the lower classes in the city, so they will have a say in how things are run. And we can start using the profits from all these magical items being sold to, start removing the Church of Assholes. And, not having the cult having all the power over people who feel like they have no say in the city.
Wait. Comment just backs you up. You guys don't have your citizens have any power in your city? The common people, they don't have any say in how the city's run.
No, that's what the job of the noble family is to do.
Well, that's stupid.
That's incredibly irresponsible.
Why?
Karkamon's been running with a dual system, one elected by the citizens for 3,000 years. And y'all have never thought of it?
Our city's based off of the teachings of from. Does Zoe actually know what the teachings are from? Where they're from?
Make a history check.
Where is my sheet? There you are.
There's definitely some. Let me change the music back here. There's some, some mention of, like in the teachings of Lathander, about like division of labor and I like the idea, and like Gwen would feel very strongly about this, is that like the noble families, it is their job to know how to rule and how to organize, and just because somebody is really good at like blacksmithing doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna be it's gonna make them a good politician. Like she's like politics is a skill, and it is a skill that we are supposed to learn because we are the noble families. And that is how it works here.
I think more pertinent than system comparison is the fact that pretty much all of that hinges on the wizard not being
evil.
Well, I was going to say
moral,
having dealings with the children, which from everything we've seen so far, it seems like he is.
Well, I know another wizard we can probably not talk into coming if he is evil.
You do?
You do?
You do?
Yes.
I think that was GM going, you do?
Yes, and yes. Hi, who taught Zoe how to make magic items? No, I don't believe she could actually talk her into coming.
Yeah.
Valid.
I was confused because you said he. I'm like, who?
I did? I don't remember saying he.
Rizwan would...
Yeah, I would hard veto that.
Express equal parts terror and doubt at bringing her back into the world.
I mean, she clearly likes having snacks brought to her.
That is an interesting choice of words out of character.
Literally, the things she told you to gather were items and her own snacks.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true.
Shamey,
Mhm.
just a quick thing because we haven't really discussed it yet. Are there still wizards in Carcamont? A couple, maybe, because they were like if we going based off of what we did in one long year, there were a bunch of wizards there in the beginning.
Yeah, I think there's probably still. I was thinking it's more along the lines of Marialda, where you have a few wizards that take their own apprentices, but it's a pretty thin number of practitioners.
I'll mention that there are wizards in Carcamont as well as the largest supply of high grade ores in the region.
The way of the solution. I think we're clear that there is two problems with the people, the common people here. They're not being represented, and they have been cast away of the possibility of use magic. I think we know what's the problem, the solution. We could try different ideas, but at least we know what the problem is. And I think on either idea of solution, we will need to talk to Mr. N.
If we root out and otherwise get rid of the children from the city, do we make that problem worse?
Maybe.
Which Antares?
No, the
No,
anger of the people.
Yeah.
The disenfranchisement.
The reason that people are being drawn so strongly to the children is because they're offering things that...
Frankly, and I look at Zoe and Gwen, you're going to hate this. Give the citizens more power.
That was literally what I just said.
More power than what you've suggested. I'll give you an example. In my home country, the Citizens Council has veto power over any internal matter over the Council of Sages. Council of Sages is responsible for external military and trade matters. That's their purview. They pass laws, or they pass laws, the citizens vote on them, and then they become laws.
This is a possibility, but we can't go straight to that, or there's gonna be people who fight tooth and nail to make sure that doesn't happen.
I mean, you're going to have people fighting tooth and nail to overthrow your entire noble hierarchy as it is.
It's either way, that's a very long-term solution.
It is a long-term solution. I think if we try to just take a knife and cut the problem out right now, it's gonna be worse.
And I agree with Brisbane on if we eliminate right now the people gonna see it like the normal families eliminate them and depower the people.
Even if giving more power to the people is a good idea, there's no way the other noble families will go for it. And like, I'm not... like, I know things are messed up, but I also don't know that just throwing power to a bunch of common people is necessarily gonna fix things.
Maybe not. The first step will not be give them power like you are a random person, you are in charge now. But I think it will help little by little shown that they've been heard. For example, I don't know, collect information about what people need and do something about what people say they need. You know what I try to say? Hear them out without pointing out a leader.
I mean, that's what we're supposed to be doing anyways.
But you haven't been doing it.
Or not good enough.
I think Zoe goes over to Gwen and just... I've seen other places, Gwen, and they're different. Not always better, but they're definitely different. And I'm not saying, hi, you have power now. Figure it out. This is a long-term thing. It also means that the first step of it is making sure our family, who's going to support the idea, is strong. If we're controlling massive amount of outside trade of magic items, nobody's going to stand against us, dear.
I think more pertinently, they, and she points at Zoe and Gwen, haven't been and can't affect any of this change for a while. And we are currently on a course that I think we need to evaluate. We have 2 stated objectives, and I don't know if either of them is a good idea at the moment.
So I just need to I'm trying to figure out how to do something. I want you to all to remember what exactly we're dealing with and who we're dealing with. Not the people who are angry. I'm talking about the people running it. And Kamino reaches down, pulls up his pack, reaches into it, and puts something on the table in front of people. And it's a half-burned, charred stuffed dragon. That is what you're fighting against. That belonged to my sister. I pulled that out of the ruins of our house. They don't care about the people they're influencing. You give them half a chance, they will do that to this house, and that house, and that house, and that house. That is how they operate.
I mean, you're right, but at the same time, their objective is not the only power in play here. How people see them will affect.
They killed a 14-year-old girl. They burned her. They killed her brothers and her parents and their servants.
I know, and they have to be dealt with. I'm just saying that if dealing with them in the wrong way means an upheaval in the city where hundreds of small kids will die, I think we need to see a good approach on it. Not dealing with it, but search how to do it.
I understand. I'm just telling you that the window of time is limited. They will move on you sooner than later. Remember what the thing said. They have to put up their timetable.
Hey, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
How many days has it been since the meeting was set that with the wizard?
I think 2, so it would be 3 days from now.
I thought we were at 4.
No.
It's got to be at least 3.
No.
It's been a busy week.
Yeah, but like we've had 2 information gathering days.
We've had let's backtrack it. So we had today, the day before we had the fire. And the day before that, we had the session. We had the fight underground.
And it would have been at least the day before that we got the letter.
And so I got the letter the day before that.
The fire happened the night of the underground fight.
Yes, you're right, it did.
Yes.
So yeah, it has been 2 days since then, 2 full days.
It's been very busy days.
It's been a very busy day / month.
It's just seemed like a week.
Seems like
still
3 months.
thinking we're skipping a day, but
I mean, that's up to Jamie to figure out. I'm assuming she's been keeping track of it for that specific reason.
3 days from now, we'll just say that.
Shouldn't we talk about this with your dad?
possibly. But I'd like to get some opinions on it before I go talk to him about it.
But I mean, if we end up like tonight checking on what they're doing and something happened, like we deal with them because they were there, I think he should be informed or something of all of it, like
Also,
our fears of the people and what's about all of it and all the stuff and stuff.
Also, I look at Gwen and Zoe. She's knee deep in it now, so we might as well just lay it all on the table. You opened that door already.
I can handle it. I want to know what you guys are doing. Please.
Okay. You can't come with us, though.
Okay.
So you can feed her the back. We can extrapolate feeding her the backstory of everything, I guess.
Not all the backstory.
Not all the backstory.
Yeah,
not everything.
Tell her.
I think mostly the children and our involvement with them. Like maybe my backstory, Santar, Marielda, and here.
Do you tell her about Antares?
Yeah, I think we should. She knows the city as well as Zoe, and she's been here the last 6 months. So
she needs to know who is dangerous here.
She is very, very nervous when you tell her about Antares' involvement. It's a dangerous person you're messing with.
I think Zoe just points at Camille. He is also a dangerous person we're dealing with.
I guess, but...
Rizwin tries not to be offended.
Zoe cannot point to Rizwin and explain why Rizwin is a dangerous person without giving
a lot away.
Giving away secrets she's not allowed to give away.
No.
That individual has made a choice to profit off their power, to instead of using their power, spreading misfortune to, I don't know, murderers and rapists and criminals, they decided to profit off of it. They're as equally culpable for the situation of the city as the children are.
I mean, I guess, but what are you going to do about it?
Take away his power base, but that's going to be a long-term goal.
Worst
You
case
guys
scenario.
are really in it, aren't you?
Worst case scenario, you find a new cleric.
I mean, cleric of an evil god is still an evil cleric.
Let me tell you something about being a paladin or cleric. You still have free will.
Yeah, but isn't a god gonna choose somebody that's gonna do the thing they want them to do?
Depends. It depends. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a devotee of that particular god.
Our experience with the matter suggests that the god picks a person that has the right inclinations and then has no direct influence over what happens next.
Maybe they just want someone to spread misfortune. Maybe the next cleric will be smart enough to realize maybe I should spread misfortune to people who deserve misfortune to befall upon them.
I have a awful, terrible, stupid, really bad, no good idea.
Okay, we've never had one of those before.
We don't want it to look like the noble families are rooting the children out of the city.
Oh.
Wait, really?
Are you?
What was the idea? Sorry.
I mean, continue your thought, but I think I know where you're going with it.
We need a blunt but competent instrument that
And a scapegoat.
enjoys rooting out indiscriminately evil.
You're talking about turning the silver on them, aren't you?
You're talking about using the Platinum Army as both the blunt instrument to achieve our ends and the scapegoat?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, that's better than I was thinking.
I mean,
no, it works. And, funny that they're here right at this exact time, huh?
So there's a problem with that idea.
there's just a lot of problems with this idea.
What if we push them into the light of the people and they take a foothold here?
If their leaders are anything like what they're purported to be, besides monster hunters, they probably won't go anywhere they're not welcome.
They could be welcomed by this. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I'm not that sure about that.
It's a calculated risk. I mean, let's be honest. You disrupt what's here already. There is going to be a power vacuum that's going to be filled. Your cleric of Lathander is gone. And it's left a power vacuum that was filled by Antares and the children. Those two leave, it's going to be filled by someone or something else. Maybe setting up that wizarding school might help offset that.
I only mention it because it seems like the least damaging overall way to deal with this problem. And, it's not like I haven't disappeared before.
Let's call a spade a spade. No matter what what we do, people are going to get hurt. People are going to most likely die in this. Our job is to ensure that innocents don't suffer needlessly. And we need to figure out the best way to ensure that happens. The cult will grow impatient eventually. They will lash out, especially now that they're fighting Antares.
Yeah, I think we need to assume something's gonna happen soon, aka tonight or tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of tonight,
Yeah. We also go over Merle as well during this time. We found this in our fire is.
Explain the whole situation.
Yeah, you explain the whole situation. I think investigating that haberdashers, was it, or was the shoe shop?
The shoe shop. Since we're laying everything on the table, Pert will ask if she's ever seen the symbols, and he describes them around the door frame and stuff.
To Gwen?
Yep.
Gwen has never seen them before.
Then at least whatever this is, it's not widespread.
Do the symbols look similar to the ones we saw in the discs from Marielda?
Actually, Pert, did you copy them down directly from the door?
No, I didn't get that close. I could do, like, say, an intelligence check to see how he can describe it.
Yes, give me an intelligence check.
Sure.
Let me just check something. Don't mind me. Zoe, make an Arcana check. It kind of sounds like it might be an alarm spell.
Oh, that's interesting. Zoe shares this information.
That doesn't seem normal for a shoemaker shop.
I mean, if I was a shoemaker, it would be there, but
in a city where people doesn't use magic.
No offense, most shoemakers are not adept at casting warding spells.
They could be legitimate someone who learned recently that spell from the children, but they mean they will have contact with the children.
Well, if that's the case, it won't be a powerful spell, and it could probably be dispelled. And we could send someone in to investigate.
Well, you've got my card.
See if that residence or business has any information.
I will remind everybody that the message you heard on the crystal, she said that the meeting was tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, we're counting on that.
Okay, we stake out that house, and we see if someone leaves or if people are coming to that house.
I guess we have time still, Jamie, but I will say I think it's my opinion that we should talk with your dad right now, Zoe, and explain everything and all our worries.
I don't think this is a bad idea.
No.
Do you want to do this with all of us or me?
I think it's best if we're all there.
Yeah.
No offense. He may not take the news coming from his teenage wayward daughter with the same severity as all of us.
He listens to me.
He's also a father. He'll want to protect his child.
Well, yeah. Hey, Gwen, do you know if Dad's in? Probably not, because you know the same thing I know.
She looks at you. Looks at where she's been sitting. You're the one with magic.
Well, I don't have detect people magic.
You don't?
So you don't?
Yeah, the joy of having a very limited pool of spells. Well, if you two are so smart, is my dad in?
I go to the door and get a servant.
All right, a servant who's at the end of the hall. So as to not be listening in, comes. Yep.
Is the Primor in?
Yes, he is. Shall I let him know you wish to speak?
Yes. I come back in. Zoe, my powerful divination magic has told me that your dad is in the house.
Zoe gives you a rude gesture.
A lewd gesture?
Fire.
Rude.
Fire generally said, "It's good to see you casting spell and not just using them to smite things."
I mean, you smite when you smite.
All right, I need a quick pee break.
Sure.
Maybe.
Sam.
This has been dense.
Yep.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Well, at least my stomach seems to have calmed down finally.
Yay. Did you say, I don't know if you said, was it something you ate or just not feeling good?
I'm really hoping it's not the Crohn's.
I was hoping it wasn't bad chicken stew, but now I'm hoping it was bad chicken stew.
No, it started yesterday. It's not the stew. Or it could just be a bad, time of the month.
That would be a much better explanation.
Yes. But if it is the Crohn's, at least I have my colonoscopy in 2 weeks.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Has it your first, or have you done it before?
This will be my third.
No throwing up in my car, by the way.
I mean, I'll do my best. Don't drive like a maniac, please.
You're forgetting I drive a manual.
Is everybody back? Are we still waiting for Quasta? That would be yes.
Kathanid? Meow?
Wow.
Okay, so now we're just missing Kathanid.
I do love hearing your guys' plans.
And then setting them on fire and running away laughing.
I mean, to be honest, I think we assessed the situation a lot. I don't know if we planned a lot.
That's fair.
I had a great plan. It's just destined to fail.
Who's ready to burn down a shoemaker's house?
It's not even that it's destined to succeed or fail. It's not something that we can realistically do in any amount of time in the framework of the game.
No, we set it in motion and leave.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that the character could do is abandon all adventuring stuff and just be in the city and start doing that as their life.
And return to the city 6 months game time later, 3 years real world time later, and the city's in the middle of the terror.
Back.
Welcome back.
Sorry, the Great Terror.
What's in the middle of the Great Terror?
Nothing yet.
The city if we do Ty's plan and then leave.
I mean, maybe.
Okay. So everybody's going to talk to Zoe's dad?
Yee.
I think actually Gwen bows out of this one.
Was kind of thinking of not being like, hey, Gwen, I don't want Dad to know we were talking to you about this, please.
I don't want Dad to know you were talking about it either. She looks around at the others. So don't tell him I know.
I just make the finger to mouth.
Thank you. Gwen is going to go off and try to do her schoolwork, but not actually.
She's going to go sit in the corner and vibrate with excitement and terror.
Yep.
Are we all back?
I think so.
I believe so.
Nibbles?
No.
Okay. So what exactly are you planning on telling Nicholas?
I'm going to let Zoe lead. We're just there as the firm hand of, no, this isn't your teenage child being hysterical.
What do we want to tell him?
As much about the cult as possible and Antara's.
I'm voting everything.
Yeah, I'm voting everything except Rizwan Literal Dragon.
Yeah, that's just about the only thing I will not say. Everything else is on the table.
No, we're also not telling him that Gwen knows.
Oh yeah, well,
yeah, you know what I mean.
That's unspoken. That's an unspoken rule.
Okay, well, I guess Zoe's doing a verbal dump of everything that's happened in the campaign, all the terror that the city's had, or all the terror that the children have unleashed through multiple cities and countryside.
Bodies
the
burned.
burning of family and houses on an island, and the fact that she went off and told somebody that she killed his brother today.
And I will. Oof. I will say that I think it's the best if we all cooperate in the telling of the story, our fears and our theories.
Mm-hmm.
So
Also,
it's not just Zoe's. It's not my kids' ideas. It's everyone's.
Yeah, I think she introduces. I start off with what's happened to me. We go into me finding Zoe, that meeting up with you guys, Santar, Marielda. We can
And
probably
I-
leave out the werewolf part too. That's not really necessary.
Yeah.
We skip the non-relevant part.
Yeah,
And
we skip.
the Black Dragon part, leave
Yeah.
that out.
And Pert wants to kill a shoemaker.
He starts out this conversation being like very proper and professional, and as it goes on, like his head just sinks more deeply into his hands.
The
Zoe also
sudden
shares a
realization.
plan.
Sorry, I didn't mean to talk every time.
Just Zoe also shares her plan.
I apologize. This is a lot.
Uh-huh.
We are, among other reasons, bringing all of this to you because we are concerned about any unilateral action we take in the city making things worse, and our pretty obvious association with your family.
But this is a time-sensitive issue, and the children are going to act sooner than later.
Being more soon than later.
Did you tell him that there's a potential meeting tonight?
I would say yes.
Okay.
I would say yes,
And-
and that Pert's identified a potential gathering point.
Great.
And that there's magic users of normal citizens in the city now.
I will
Probably also mention the option of asking the army for help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will want to point out specifically that I told him about how the children are winning over the people because of giving them magic when the noble families don't give anything, and it's shitty, but they will gonna win the people over you all, and it's gonna be nasty.
Also, remind that this nobles aren't keeping magic away from the lower caste.
but
Nobody has
they're-
it in the
the
city.
nobles haven't done anything to uplift the citizens versus the children giving them magic and ostensibly to uplift them.
You, like explaining that they're using them, but they're using them exploiting a weakness in this society.
Right.
I have something I want to add after the digesting of it all sits in.
I mean, he's still digesting.
As we've indicated, your daughter has a chance to meet with the wizard in several days. How likely would it be, for instance, if you were to invite the wizard here for dinner? For a private meeting? I don't know this individual, I don't know how well connected they want to be in this city. If that is a tempting bait they would jump at.
I recognize the name, but this is not an individual who has inserted themselves into the higher echelons of society. I think it is far more likely that he wants to be left alone. I could probably extend an invitation to him. I do not know if he would accept or not.
I just look at the rest as an alternate possibility.
Yeah.
I am a
I
bit
do.
apprehensive about inviting a very powerful wizard with ill intentions into my home.
Understandable.
Zoe is like, I agree with my father on this one.
And also, I think it will, if he is as paranoid as we think, it will just work to shut him down instead of give us any opportunity of anything.
It was an option. I just wanted to put it out there.
No bad ideas in brainstorm.
I want to say something out of character so badly, but I'm just not gonna.
He says to all of you, I need some time to think and some time to plan. I would recommend, if you are going to try to listen in on this meeting, that you do it very carefully and very quietly. But having this information would be invaluable.
This seems like a job for an owl.
Oh, you're finally going to bring your owl out.
I've been meaning to do it for a while now. It's finding an hour and 10 minutes to do it. That's the problem.
We will discuss this in the morning after I've had some time to come up with some plans.
I think we could speak again. Speak with from everyone to say that count with us if you need us for anything or not do anything. Let us know because we want to help, not to impose.
We want to work with you, not. You know what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. All right.
How panicked does Abby's father look?
A little panicked. More than a little panicked.
I also subtly suggest to him that he increases the guard presence around his house.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's already done it.
Can I ask you something, Jamie?
Yes.
During this whole conversation, can I see if I detect that at some point we say something that he shouldn't know, and he's doesn't like he puts a face that I already know this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Yep.
What is up with your rolls tonight?
I don't know. Fire has his third eye open.
You're on fire, man.
What exactly? Like, I don't necessarily know what Fire would expect him to not know. He seems to be aware that the church was, or the cult was behind the attack on the church. That the church killed someone important to the cult, and he's not, like, he's pretty sure that the Antares was involved in that fire somehow.
Okay. How about knowing where a base of operation of the children could be, or that they're meeting right now?
Yeah, that's news to him.
What they did to Zoe?
Zoe already told him about some of it.
So you're just looking for something that he knew already that we hadn't previously told him.
Yeah, something like you shouldn't know about this. Why you know about this?
That Zoe had a meeting with the church.
So we talked to that about with her mother, so it wouldn't be surprising that it cut to him.
Yeah.
I know I'm just trying to think of the church side of things because
It was just in case.
trust an NPC? Never.
It's Zoe's father.
Yes, he's clearly the villain.
No, that would be the mother.
All right. Do you have anything else for him?
A hug. I am playing Abby.
Yeah. When you told him that you killed someone, make an insight check. He just seems kind of sad.
Seems reasonable. So sad about it.
But maybe not as like surprised and shocked as you would expect, or maybe you would expect him to have a more subdued reaction.
I don't like that.
I assume we're just going to leave the room and let him have his time.
Yeah. Yes. I'm pushing you along.
So he's going to go off and do her hour and 10 minutes to summon an owl.
Okay.
I'm going to propose that we use Pass Without a Trace tonight.
Yeah, and I think if we're planning to hear secretly, we should go the ones who can stealth. Not everyone.
So you want me to stay at the back of the alley is what you're saying?
I guess. Sorry.
I mean, stealth checks are group wide, aren't they?
They are group wide and we are using a spell to augment it.
Somebody can make me an intelligence check. Zoe
Got
or
it.
Kurt, not Fire, not Emma.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Pert has the highest intelligence.
Yeah. Well, there is the possibility that there is like a basement mansion under one of these houses. Basements don't tend to be that big, and it's gonna, the more people you bring, the harder it's gonna be to hide everybody, especially if you're planning on going in.
Yeah, if we could have stupid rolls, but if we're in a hallway and someone is coming towards us, they're gonna bomb it to us.
Yeah. So what if we have like Fire, Kurt, and Amalus near there, and the rest of us are kind of back a bit to rush in if anything goes sideways? Or to keep an eye out for other people approaching, leaving, etc.
Oh, Bert, Amma, and Fire going in?
Yeah. And I mean, you can still cast Pass Without a Trace on us because it's each creature you choose within 30 feet of you. Oh, it's within 30 feet. Never mind. I thought it was each creature you choose at time of casting within 30 feet of you.
No, they have to stay in range of you.
Yeah. Otherwise, that would be ridiculous.
Technically, I'm not casting it on you. I'm casting it on myself.
So if we leave and then re-enter the area, we would still get the bonus.
Yes.
Yes, as long as I choose that you are a creature that is being affected.
Well, so we will stick back and send Ellen to just kind of, sit by a window, listen in, be Zoe's eyes and ears, without looking like Zoe.
I don't know. Does
That's
the owl have
outside.
horns?
Is it a great
No.
horned owl?
That's outside can let us know if anything happened, and so he can let us tell us.
Zoe, when you summon your owl, you take your ritual cast time. It pops back into existence. And for a second, it just stands on the ground and stares at you. And pecks your leg gently.
So he gives it a pet. Sorry, I haven't had you around for a while. Owls don't like. People look weirdly when you have an owl and horns. And someday a flying broom. So when does Zoe go off to Hogwarts?
It flies up and lands on your head.
Zoe will go show it to her sister.
Alright. Gwen is very excited. Pets the owl. The owl tolerates it. But it is getting towards evening and you guys have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Night is a long time. You don't have a clear idea of when this meeting is exactly.
Assuming we napped enough so we would be falling asleep. On
We
our feet.
woke up pretty late.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to bed at like 4 a.m. You're fine. So you all are walking, taking horses.
I think walking would draw less attention.
Okay.
I assume we're walking the entire way with Pass Without Trace.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna take you about an hour of walking to get there.
Yeah, it's a good thing that spell lasts an hour.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll have everybody make me a stealth check.
So are we actually using Pass Without Trace?
Yes, I think that's the idea. Unless Analyst has other opinions.
Maybe use
I
pass.
don't really use my spell slots for much else.
You got a couple neat spells.
Just
20.
because I have a couple of these spells, that doesn't mean I use them for anything.
That's plus 10. So, 25. Riz win!
So the man in full plate armor versus the literal druid who could shapeshift into a squirrel.
I haven't wasted it.
Rizwin is as stealthy as Pert tonight.
But a fart.
Nobody takes any heed of you as you walk through the shadows provided to you by Amalus down the street. And around the time the spell is about to end, you come to a unassuming shoemaker shop. Seems closed. There's a couple of people wandering around now. It seems like people have, gotten a little braver and are starting to come back into the area. Just on the other side of those buildings behind you, there is a burnt mess.
A what?
Burnt mess.
Oh yeah. When we're getting there, I'm like, so what are we gonna do with the alarm spell?
Well, I can dispel it.
Okay.
Wait, the two people that know magic. Pert's got a question.
The two? There's 4 of us that know magic.
When you dispel an alarm spell, does the person that cast it know it was dispelled?
No. Because it's a ward on a specific area that emits the alarm.
Not concentrations, I would say no, but I don't know.
We could take 10 minutes to find out.
Yeah.
Make me an Arcana check. Any of you spellcasters.
I help whoever.
I think Pert
I
hits
don't
the
think
best
you
with
can
a
help
3.
with this.
I mean,
Hurt. So if Zoe cast the alarm spell, and somebody dispelled it, she would know. But if it's an enchant, like if somebody has taken the time to enchant the spell, like into the door frame or put like runes, like warding runes on it, then the spell is no longer being held by the caster, and they wouldn't know.
it'd be like pulling the batteries out of an alarm.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Does anyone else have dispel magic available, or?
I do.
Oh, well, you only have 2 spell slots. That's fine.
I don't have it prepared.
Do you
I
have
mean,
it
if
missed?
we're sitting here for more than an hour waiting for things.
Your spells are not that useful. For these kind of things.
Well, then I'll do it then, since I would rather use up 1 level 3 spell slot and still have 8 other spell slots available.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm worried about it.
I'm gonna cast dispel magic on it.
Okay, so you guys are just approaching the front of the shop. Are you going around the back? How's this happening?
I think Pert would suggest the alley, so that way we can either A, scope out, or B, sneak in.
Okay. Pert leads you around to the back door that's in the alleyway. Kamala, you cast dispel magic. There is a little flash of light from the scratches in the door, and then nothing. You think it worked?
I kind of gesture at Pert. It's probably done.
All right. Do we want to just go in, or do we want to stake it out?
What time is it right now?
The sun has set like maybe 15 minutes ago.
If they don't, would it be reasonable to assume that if they didn't want to draw attention to themselves, they would either be leaving? They'd probably leave at a normal time of night, as opposed to leaving their house at 2 a.m. in the morning, or coming to a house at 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, that is more suspicious to show up at a business at the ass crack of dawn or middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. So I'd say we stake it out and just see what happens for a bit, and then after an hour or so, maybe you sneak in.
Are you staying in the alleyway? How does this happen?
Is there any like vicinity burnt place or abandoned place because of the fire that we could make our headquarters?
Well, when Pert was wandering around here this afternoon, the houses across the street were all abandoned.
Deals.
Yeah, probably there.
Okay.
And Pert can always easily sneak around to the back to enter. So I figure entering from the alleyway side is going to be less noticed as opposed to the front entrance.
So basically, the others are camping out, watching the front entrance, and Pert can camp out and watch the back entrance, and then sneak in after like an hour or so.
Yep.
Is Amalus coming with me?
Sure.
Okay.
Is Mellis going with you?
I mean, unless anyone says anything, yes.
I mean, you can always cast Pass Without a Trace again if you wanted to for you three. That's entirely up to you.
I am also going.
Yeah, Pert's going. Rizwan, Zoe, and I are staying behind.
I will use wild shape and transform into a little mouse and be on Pert's pocket.
Okay.
Zoe goes with him over to the abandoned building, finds a spot to sit on, probably near a window, but is like under it, and having her owl fly back and forth, looking through its eyes.
Yeah, I assume Zoe's being the lookout, whereas Rizwan and I are kind of just hanging back from the window so we're not visible.
All right. I would like everybody to make me a perception check.
Why am I at a... That should have been a 20.
Who am I missing?
Owl.
Okay, that's pretty good. You all set up and settle in. And for a while, everything is quiet. A couple of people wander down the street. Another guard patrol goes by. And then another one. Then after about, maybe 40 minutes, you see a figure in a cloak with the hood up, walking confidently down the street, goes up to the shoe shop, knocks twice.
The front door?
The front door. The door opens, and he walks inside.
What color was the cloak?
Like a dark gray or a black. It's kind of hard to see now that the light's not so good.
But
the only reason I asked is because Zoe was requested to wear a blue dress. So if he had an obsession with blue.
Could have been a dark blue. It was a very dark color.
So we go in?
Yeah, I figured it would work. Like Zoe flies the owl over to Pert, and it just kind of pecks his hand as like the predetermined signal to sneak in.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
All right.
So Pert will check the back door for traps or non-magical alarms.
Make a investigation check.
Sure.
You do not find any non-magical traps. It is locked.
Alrighty. And clink clink.
17 is enough. The door swings open, and that's where we're gonna stop tonight.
Dun dun dun.
Cool.
Intrigue.
I had told myself that we were gonna try to end around 8 so that we could talk about Ty's game, and then that just didn't happen.
No, we're totally ending at around 8.
Hey,
It's
it's
not
about,
even 6 yet.
about 11.
Yeah.
Time is a construct.
Jamie forgot how much we faff.
Lunchtime
Always
cookies.
forgets how much time we faff.
All right. Good game. I hope everyone had fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Always do.
Marf.
It's really hard to drop hints without being stupid in character.
Mm-hmm.
Your hint wasn't missed.
I missed.
About to say, it wasn't me.
Amalus is missed.
I still don't get what the hint was.
In about
Well,
what?
Just any time I was talking to either in front of Gwen or to what's his name?
What, you trying to give away the fact that you're a dragon?
It's more interesting.
You know, if you really want that, I can have Zoe slip up.
That is up to you.
No, that one's up to you.
That's, I don't know. That's not in keeping with my character. It's not something I would ever mess up.
I could slip that up to Gwen, but I'm not doing that without you telling me to do it.
I could totally see Pert messing that up at some point, but it would have to be specific, what we really need to get this to work is a dragon scale. And then Pert just looks directly in her eyes. That kind of in the right circumstances, Pert would totally screw up. Anyways, recording